How's everybody doing? Raphael 7286. We're just going to talk about some small stuff. When we're talking about north and south, 2 and 8, we're just going to call it the divider between 4 1s, 4 4s, 4 7s. 4 7s equals 28 equals to the moon. 2 and 8 equals 1, the spirit that passes within the divine. When we talk about 4, we talk about 16, the 1 spirit of the light. 1 and 6 is 7. 4 times 1 equals 4, so they all go into each other. If they all go into each other, 1 and 4 over to 6. 1 is up here, 6 is down here. When you run it on this angle, it goes through the 5 and over towards the 6. 1 and 6 cross over the 5 center, and in time, it would look like 3 in the afternoon, this arm, or 15 minutes after the hour, this arm, right? But this is the small arm. So we're going to call that 3 or 6 o'clock. If it was 6 o'clock, it'd be 1/4 of the day, equaling to 25. 2 and 5 equals to the B world. Within the B world, the light. Otherwise, it's 1/8 of the day. 1 part, number 1, within the heaven of 8. 1 goes into 4, 7 goes into 4. 4 is the middle number of 7. The 1 spirit goes between the circle. The 4 is the circle. 4 by 90 is 360. 3 by 120 is 360, and 2 by 180. 180 is right over here. When you move the arm between the 1 and the 6 on the clock, it becomes 180 minutes or 90 minutes, 45 degrees. Don't forget, 8 times 45 is 360. This is 1/8. We talk about 3 hours being 1/8. 8 by 3 is 24. 6 by 4 is 24. How we get to all these numbers. This is 180 and 90 is 270. This over here is 360 and 180 is 540. 540 equals to the coming of the sun, the IT world. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 equals to 5 and 4. 6 hours, which is 90 degrees, which is the birth. 6 hours and 3 hours is that 90 degrees, creation of 3 and 6 within the same number. 3 hours on the 12-hour clock, and then on the 24-hour clock, 90 degrees is 6 hours. 6 by 3 is the coming of the angel heaven, 1 and 8. 1 and 8, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 8 is 16. 1 and 6 is 7. Becomes 2 and 7. The beta world gates, the B gates. 2 7s instead of 1 8, or 1/8. So we understand this 45 degrees, the clock. What is this? In low shu, 6 and 9 are right next to each other. They can connect, 1 lock, 1 bridge, right next, 2 blocks next to each other. When we play games, this is called the 17-to-1 gateway. It is the queen, because if we make a bet inside the game of roulette, this would pay 17-to-1, connecting to 35-to-1, and 35-to-1 equaling to 70, plus the 17 is 87, equaling to the 7th gate. 7th gate, 8-7, equaling to these numbers, bringing in 1 over here and 6 over here. What is 8 and 9 normally in low shu is 1 and 6 next to each other. Another thing I wanted to bring down was 510. If it was minutes or in seconds, if it was in minutes, it'd be 8 hours, 30 minutes. 8 times 6 is 48, 510. 510 is the center of the heart. 510 in seconds would be 8 minutes and 30 seconds. 8 and 8, halfway in both heavens. Hours and minutes, halfway both way in both worlds. If I would use it in hours, I would get 310 minutes. So from 310 minutes is the difference between 510. The difference is 200, or 626. The dividing worlds coming in through Saturn, 6 and 6. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at this. 100 of a second. Then we're going to look at 60 minutes. Then we're going to look at the 24 hours. And when we do that, we're going to transfer everything into binary. When I say binary, 100 a second, that is 3001. Okay, 3 of them. It gets 3 marks. But I'm going to start only by the seconds. I'm not going to start by the hundredths of a second, because the hundredths of a second is 10 times 10. When you put the 2 skull bones together, creating 10, 10, you create the world. In this world, I'll run by the seconds, because you're running the clock that cost you the hundredths of the second to get here. 1 second and the 10-second zone, and the 1-minute zone and the 10-minute zone, and the 1-hour zone and the 10-hour zone. So when you come all that down and you turn it into binary, it's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. 1 and 6 is 7. 32. 3 and 2 is 5, becomes 5, 7, 8, 4 of creation. Alphabetic creation of space, of G and E. When we multiply this by 5, it becomes 28,000, the number to the moon, and the birth, 926. It's not 25,920 of the Mayan. The difference between, because I multiply it by 5 to find out, I need to round out the zone. 5 is the zone. 7 is the zone, the Magan David, the 7-point star. 84 is Pluto. The difference is 1 and 7, the connecting of the light. So I reduce it to 100, and it's exactly perfect. When I bring this over here, it becomes 25,920. When I bring it here, it's 3,000 more. 600 is the difference. 600 is 666, which is the difference in the binary code. When you count up the 32 and 16 is 48, 56, 60, 62, 63. Creation, 3 and 6, the touchdown, and the field goal. You're the extra point, because once the ball goes through, the point is in your mind. This is how this connects. At the same time, the 1 and 6 that crisscrosses in the dice on each other, when I move this world together, this world and this world together, it crosses right over here. This crossing shows that this becomes the H letter out of the one spirit down here in the H letter. Now I'm going to do it where 1 must travel not through 5, which is the whole, but how it gets around to 6. So what happens? The 1 is up here on the phone. It goes into 4, through 5, and into 6. And it creates the Tetris 1 letter. So we now know that Tetris, this becomes 1 and 6. It also becomes 4, 3, 7. 3, 4, 7, DC. This is in low shu. Now, if we do it the other way, okay, and we flip it upside down, it becomes 3, 2, 1, 4. The low shu, not the low shu way, but Tetris flips this upside down and puts this point over here, puts this one in number 3. Or you can lower this one down, going 9, 8, 7, and then into 4 over here. But here is purposely done because 6 and 1, this is Zion, Israel. See the way they go around? This 6 and 1 is 7. It's the only one. There is no other one. So we have to have something that's relative that can do the same thing. If I'm just going to make it up and I can't find any other situation that's the same way, then I have no legs to stand on. I must well be a stork. Raphael, 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. There was one other piece I wanted to mention, that if the digital was the difference between two sides, I take this number over here and this 8. I can go a maximum of 1, 2, 4, 8. 8 is the joining of 4 and 4. So since it's the joining of 4 and 4, divide 6 by 4 equals 1.5. That is the letter O. Then I divide 32 by 4 equals to 8. So I get 1.5 and 8, 1, 5, and 8. The spirit and 5 and 8 are in the same zone. Dividing of the two worlds. This is the half. 1.5 is the half of 8. 1.5 times 8 is 12. And now you have creation. It's just it becomes, this one becomes 8, the other one 1.5, or 1.5 times 6 is 9. 1.5 times 4 is 6. Now we have rotation equaling to 4 and 1, and it becomes the same number, 1, 5, and 8. Raphael, 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Don't listen to that last piece because I don't like the way I explained it. There is one other piece. Now hang on here. So it's relative to the Mayan 21 cube cycle of the dog queen. This over here, these numbers over here, what this does, okay, is it brings it down to 6 times 6. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Excuse me, I'm doing something different. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. What I'm doing is the binary here to 100,000. 100,000 binary. Okay, equals 66, 666, which equals to 36 and 36, which equals to 6 times 36 left, 6 times 36 right, equals to 432 between 1 and 5, between the moons of Mars. This will equal to 432 plus 48 for the area space, plus 4 and 8 for the area space for the cube. And this will be 480 hours. They're in a Mayan month. Then we have to start dividing it up by 18 for the 18 months, 1 and 8. Double up the 1 and 8, you get 2 and 7, and that's what's in between. Next, it's 3 and 6 in between. Next, it's 4 and 5. You got it all. It just all fits so perfect. Raphael, 7286, not at home. Thank you for this video, and thank the person that lets me do it, because I could not sleep unless I exalted myself. I've been stuffed all day, and boom, I break out. Thank you, and bless you all.